everybody, and welcome to episode 5 of the two Bartys. So we're well into series 2 now, and we've been bringing you some top 5s, and this episode is no different as we bring you our top 5 classic cars. Kick us off, James.
Right, to kick us off is probably one of the best old sports cars. It is the Lotus Elise Mark 1.
Fantastic car. What is it about that Lotus Elise then that got onto your list of top 5s?
It's just probably one of the best looking Lotuses of all time. It handles well for a rear wheel drive car, and it's a Lotus.
Yes, and for people watching, you must understand we are both Norfolk boys, so the fact that it is a Lotus probably speaks to us a little bit more than some other people. So Lotus to us is a bit like Alfa or Ferrari for Italians. It's just quite an emotive brand. They are literally an hour from our door. So Lotus Elise Mark 1 on your list. Well, based on episode 3 where we chose exactly the same cars, I decided to check your list out first, James. So I've tried not to choose anything that you have. However, I did go Lotus, a bit of a left field choice, but I'm going to go for a Lotus Carlton. Now this was based on a Vauxhall Carlton, and then seriously pimped up by Lotus. More power, it was the fastest 4-door saloon available at the time of its launch, and for me the proportions, it just looked really good, and Vauxhall had a golden age of styling in the sort of 83ish onwards with the Mark II Astra. They then had this Carlton and the Lotus Carlton. They had the Senator. They then went into the Amiga and the Tigra, and then the Vectra turned up and kind of spoilt it a little bit. But they had a really rich vein of form with styling, which sort of for a mainstream manufacturer really did it for me, I must admit. What's your next one then, James?
The Fiat 124 Spider. This isn't the newer one. This is
not the
original.
Mazda MX-5.
No, it is the original Fiat 124 Spider. Yes, I prefer the newer one, but this is classic cars, and it just seems to me like a mini Ferrari.
Okay. And it's very simple and very basic and very lightweight and convertible. You could see yourself on sort of the edge of Lake Como. Yeah, I bet you could. So very nice choice. Well, I'm going to go for something also Italian. I'm going to go for an original Fiat 500. This car is as cute as a button. It's so small, so tiny, but so innovative. And I guess in some ways it was Fiat's answer, or Fiat's paving the way for vehicles like Mini. I think they came around about the same time. Mini was obviously 1959 when it was launched, but it's just that sort of innovation that the world had thrown up. Obviously, you know, this need for more personal transport, cheaper transport. So it had a small little engine in the back that wouldn't be able to pull the skin off a rice pudding by modern standards. The space, there were no NCAP testing then, so the fact that you could fit 4, even 5 in comfort in this vehicle, there were just so many ingenious little features. Plus it had that fabric roof that goes back, that I've always been a bit of a sucker for, a fabric roof, a sunroof, or a panoramic full glass roof. There's just something about that Fiat 500, and it is just quintessentially Italian. It is a blinding car. So what do you have?
You talked a bit about Mini, and mine is the original Mini Cooper S. Again, it's popped up in one of my top 5s, and it's like the Fiat, but it's just, yes, I do prefer the Fiat, but this seems a bit more iconic in a way. It feels a bit more, I don't know.
Well, I understand, because on my list as well I've got the 64 Mini Cooper S, or just the Mini itself, a vehicle that was produced from 1959 all the way through to 2000, possibly 2001. And obviously BMW then bought it and created the new versions of the Minis, which have got bigger and fatter and everything. But again, it's the innovation in this car. I guess looking at it from the outside, you wouldn't understand the level of innovation, and particularly the Mark 1. You know, just the seating, the windows, the exposed door hinges, everything was there to save money, to be frugal. The hydroelastic suspension. There are so many bits that the Mini has given us. And as we mentioned in Series 1, we're very lucky to have a 1998 classic shape Mini as well. And even that one is appreciating in value. But to get hold of something like a 64 Mini Cooper S, you probably need upwards of about £35,000 to buy a Minter. They are going for serious money. But David Brown, or DB, I think it is David Brown, has done a new version where you basically give them all the components of a Mini and they bring it up to modern standards. So the Mini in the original shape still lives on. People are converting them to electric as well. But I think for a lot of people it is an iconic vehicle. So we've both got a Mini in there. What is the next one on your list then?
Right. Talking of money, I don't think. Well, you can get more expensive than this, but I don't. It's the Aston Martin DB5. It's expensive, but it's just. Yeah.
What's the key influencer for a DB5?
Probably James Bond.
Yeah, and that is one of the earliest tie-ups, really, that between a film franchise and a car manufacturer. It carries on to this day. So Aston Martin DB5. Now I'm going to be controversial, not for the sake of it, but there are elements of the DB5 I like, but overall I don't think it's the prettiest Aston Martin that has ever been produced. It's a nice car. There's something about the back end that doesn't quite do it for me though, but certainly from the front it looks okay. But again, I think I was more influenced by the ones that came on a little bit later. So for me, let's go on to something that I think could outclass your DB5. Probably going to get no end of comments on this one, but I would go for the MGA, the precursor to the MGB. The styling, those tiny rear lights, that aerodynamic bonnet line, this car just did something for me. I saw one in the flesh in about 1988 at the British Motor Show at the Birmingham NEC, and they had sort of historic and classic cars being auctioned, and I just saw this blue MGA. I'd never seen one before, never heard of it, and for me it was just how I imagined a classic roadster to look like.
Well, mine is mad.
Okay.
It's the gene of every mad spoiler that's been on a car. It's the Lamborghini Countach. It is so mad. The wing isn't even legal.
Yes, yeah. The story about the rear wing, how they vehicles have to go through homologation, and the Lamborghini went through homologation, and then after it happened, they then fitted the wing afterwards because the wing would have failed that homologation test. So yeah, the Lamborghini Countach is a vehicle that looks like it has been smeared with some sort of adhesive and then ram-raided Halfords for all the scoops and hoops and cladding. Okay, well my last one is another modern classic, a little bit newer even than the Lotus Carlton, which was sort of early 90s. This is a small coupe that is very highly revered in motoring circles. It had a fantastic 1.7 litre engine co-developed by Yamaha, and if you can find one rust-free, then you have a modern classic, and I'm talking about the original Ford Puma. How are you going to order these then? You've got quite an extensive list of 5 classic vehicles. They're all a bit sporty. So let's run us through.
Right. At number 5 is the Lamborghini Countach.
Okay.
It's mad. Yeah. At number 4 it is the Fiat 124 Spider.
Okay.
Number 3, the Aston Martin DB5. Number 2 is the Mini Cooper S, and number 1 is the Lotus Elise Mark 1.
Good choice. I thought you were going to go Mini at the top, so okay, well let me have a look at mine. Well, at number 5 will be the Lotus Carlton. At number 4 will be the Puma. Number 3 will be the MGA. Slightly predictably, I will put the Fiat at number 2 and the Mini at number 1. So let us know if you agree with us. Like, subscribe, comment down below. Let us know what your top 5 classic cars would be, and join us for the series finale where we go Cars on Film.
Cars on Film.
I thought you was going to carry on singing. So join us next time for episode 6, but for now, from us, it's goodbye.